Your next computer won't just run applications the way your current system does today, following simple instructions. It will actively think, process information, and make decisions in ways that start to feel almost human. Right now, most of this intelligence exists somewhere far away, inside massive data centers owned by big companies. But that is starting to change much faster than most people actually realize right now. Because artificial intelligence is no longer staying in the cloud where it used to belong until recently. It is slowly moving closer, directly into the devices that you use every single day without noticing. A completely new type of computer is emerging, designed from the ground up to run AI locally. And once that shift fully happens, the way we use computers will change completely forever. Until now, your computer has always worked in a very simple and predictable way, following instructions step by step. You give it a command, and it processes that command using fixed logic without understanding anything. That is how traditional systems based on CPUs and GPUs have always been designed to operate. But now, something new is being introduced into this equation, and it changes everything. A new type of processor is being added, specifically designed to handle artificial intelligence tasks directly. It is called an NPU, or Neural Processing Unit, and it works very differently from anything before it. Instead of following strict instructions, it processes patterns, learns behaviors, and adapts over time. And this is the moment where your computer stops being just a machine, and starts becoming something more. Right now, you are probably hearing about artificial intelligence everywhere, from ads to tech videos and constant product announcements. Every company is suddenly talking about AI like it's the most important feature your next computer absolutely needs to have. But here's the problem, because almost nobody is actually explaining what any of this really means in practice. Instead, what you get are buzzwords, flashy demos, and promises that sound impressive but feel strangely unclear. And for most people, this doesn't create understanding, it creates confusion about what is actually changing. You start to wonder if your current computer is already outdated, even if it still works perfectly fine for everything you do. But the truth is, this shift is real, and it is already starting to affect how modern software is being designed. And if you don't understand what is happening right now, you might fall behind without even realizing it. At first, this might not seem like a big deal, just another feature being added to your computer like many before. But the difference this time is much deeper, because AI is not just another tool you open and use manually. It is starting to become part of everything, quietly working in the background across your entire system. Your apps begin to assist you automatically, completing tasks, generating content, and adapting to what you are doing. Workflows that used to take multiple steps suddenly become faster, smoother, and almost effortless. And once you experience that level of interaction, going back to a traditional system starts to feel slow and limited. Because it's no longer just about speed or power, it's about how your computer behaves and responds to you. And that is where the real change begins, in a way that most people still haven't fully realized. And this is where things start to get uncomfortable, because the difference is no longer just theoretical or something far in the future. Your current computer might still work fine for everything you do today, and nothing seems obviously broken or unusable. But little by little, things begin to feel slower, less responsive, and slightly out of sync with what you expect from modern software. Meanwhile, newer systems powered by AI are already starting to complete the same tasks almost instantly and with far less effort. And once software begins to rely more heavily on AI features, that gap between systems will only continue to grow over time. Some applications will start expecting AI acceleration as a normal part of how they function, not as an optional feature. Which means your system is no longer just slower compared to others, it is missing capabilities entirely. And that is how computers don't just age over time, they quietly become outdated without you even realizing it. And the most important thing to understand is that this is not something that might happen someday in the distant future. This shift is already happening right now, quietly, across the software and devices people are using every single day. More and more applications are beginning to integrate AI features as a core part of how they function and evolve. And instead of relying entirely on the cloud, many of these processes are starting to move directly onto your own device. Because running AI locally is faster, more private, and far more efficient for real-time interaction. That means your computer is no longer just a tool that executes commands, it becomes something that actively assists you. And as this trend accelerates, the gap between systems will grow faster than most people expect. Because this is not just another upgrade cycle, this is a complete shift in how computing works. In the near future, your computer will not just respond to what you do, it will begin to anticipate what you need before you even ask. Instead of opening apps and manually completing tasks, many actions will start happening automatically in the background. Your system will learn how you work, how you create, and how you interact with your tools over time. And based on that, it will begin to assist you in ways that feel natural, seamless, and almost invisible. Tasks that used to require effort, attention, and time will become faster, smoother, and far more intuitive. Because your computer is no longer reacting to you, it is working alongside you as an active partner. And once you experience that level of interaction, going back to a traditional system will feel slow and disconnected. This is not just an upgrade, it is a completely new way of interacting with technology. So what does all of this actually mean for you and the way you use your computer every single day from now on? It does not mean that your current system suddenly becomes useless or that you need to replace it immediately without thinking. But it does mean that the direction of computing is changing, and that shift is already happening all around you right now. The way software is built, how systems behave, and how you interact with technology is starting to evolve in a real way. And over time, those changes will become more noticeable in your daily experience, even in small details you didn't expect. The key is not to rush into upgrading, but to understand what is happening and why it actually matters long term. Because once you start to see the difference clearly, you begin to recognize where everything is heading next. And in the end, this is not just about faster computers or better specs, it is about smarter ones. What you are seeing right now is not the final stage of this technology, it is only the very beginning of a much larger shift. Everything we have talked about so far is just an early version of what these systems will eventually become. Because artificial intelligence inside your computer is still evolving, and it is improving faster than most people expect. What feels advanced today will quickly become normal, and then eventually outdated as new capabilities appear. Your computer will continue to change, becoming more adaptive, more predictive, and more integrated into everything you do. And over time, this will stop feeling like a feature, and start feeling like a natural part of how computers work. Just like the internet once changed everything, this shift will quietly redefine what we expect from our devices. And the most important part is that this transformation has already started, whether people realize it or not. At the beginning, this might have sounded like something distant, something that would take years before it truly arrived. But the reality is that this shift has already started, quietly changing the way computers work around you every single day. What once felt like advanced or experimental technology is slowly becoming the new normal in modern systems. And over time, that change will become impossible to ignore as it starts affecting your daily experience more clearly. Your computer will not just run what you tell it anymore, it will begin to understand patterns and assist you more naturally. And once that becomes the standard way systems operate, everything before it will start to feel limited and outdated. Because this is not just another step forward in performance, specifications, or raw hardware improvements. This is the moment where computers begin to think differently, and that changes everything.